Selmer Twin Base 30. It doesn't say Selmer on it, but this is a Selmer amp. These are from the late 60s. There's one documented online on the Vintage Hofner site, 1968. So this amp needs a good coat of looking at. It's obviously been stud for some time. So if this amp looks okay inside, we're going to power it up on the current limiter and just see if it runs and what it needs to get this thing back to full operations. So let's have a look at the fuses first of all. Doesn't say what the fuses should be. Oh, so here's the first thing then. You can see we've got wire wrapped around the fuse, so that's not a good start, is it? Never mind, we'll just pop that back in there. We'll deal with that later. Let's have a look at the HT fuse. Oh, I'm afraid that's blown, madam, like Mrs. Blenkinsop's TV. And someone's also put some more wire around that. That really is poor. Yeah, it's a wonder that transformer's not burnt out. It wouldn't surprise me. Look at how black that fuse is there, my days. So yeah, so that's the first two problems we've just found there. Two blown fuses. So let's just have a bit of a look at it anyway. In the meantime, we've just got two inputs. We've got a volume and a tone, and that's about it really. That's why it says twin, because it doesn't appear to be a twin channel amp. Let's just turn it around and have a look at the back. I've just got a couple of speaker sockets by the look of it. Pretty simple thing. Just look at the top, you can see the screws are absolutely toast as well. We've got odd screws. We've got one that's reasonable but rusty. One, they've took all the posi drive out of that. That one's just worn away. We've got another slot there. So we'll get the top off it and we'll have a look at what we're dealing with inside. Right, we've got the top off there, and you can see we're looking at these tubes. These are EL506s. EL506. These have a dissipation of 19 watts. And there's a pair of those in there, and it looks like we've got a preamp tube down there. They look intact as far as they've not gone to air or anything. All the gubbins and components are down in here. You probably can't, let's just tilt that back. You probably just about see those in there. It's had some work done there by the look of it a long time ago. They just, oh dear, that's not brilliant. We've got a GZ34 rectifier there. Pretty simple amp really. So we know we need some fuses. Let's have a look at the fuse in the plug. Aha, another one to the collection. So he needs removing. We'll put a 3 amp in there. Stick him in there. Let's just check and see that these are all nice and tight. No, they're not, but it's usual, they're loose. That's it, that's sorted. Where's the main electrolytic? Let's just turn it round this way. Let's just have a look at this power cable going in as well. Yep. So that one can push in but not push out, but that's not suitable, so that'll have to be changed. Right, now there is a schematic online for this amp, so we we should be able to find a bit of information out about it. Let's start with that 15 watt bulb. Let's go very steady here because we need some fuses, don't we? So we'll put 500 milliamps in the HD and we'll put a 1.5 in the mains. We've got the current limiter on. Be quiet, dregs, we're busy. Right, so these are really small fuses, you can see that. I didn't notice that when I took that out. That's probably why they've put wire across them. I ain't got any of those. So what I've done is I've jumped in a fuse on the HT and we'll be okay on the mains. We've got the current limiter on anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. But we've just got that HT fuse in there as a precaution. And let's just check everything's good to go. Right. We'll switch on. Make sure the current limiter's on. Yes. Let's switch the bulb. Bulb's lit. Now we shouldn't see any voltage straight away because of that GZ34. Let's go up to 25, I think. Let's give it a bit more juice owner. A bit more juice owner is what we need. Aha. So we can see some voltage just coming up now on there. Got 1 volt climbing. Well, we've got 2 volts. 3 is going up. $150 volts we've got there and climbing. See if we've got any input. I would have thought we got enough plate voltage on there now. Aha. So we've got a bit of signal going through. Let's put another 15 watts in there. That should help bring the plate voltage up. Ah, there we go. Doesn't have a lot of top on it, so we may have some capacitors that are a bit tired. That's not working at all. So the tone control doesn't work. Right, let's take this 25 out, put 40 in. That will give us 55 watts of current limiting. also flat out. No distortion though, it's just very quiet. I mean, this is 30 watts and it's got a couple of 19 watt dissipation tubes. You would expect to be getting a lot more than that out of it, even with the current limiter on. And I can virtually talk over that, it's so quiet. Bulbs aren't lit particularly though, so we're not drawing massive amounts of current, are we? Right, let's go up a bit more on the bulbs. There we go. It's got 65 watts in there now. It's got that rather large coupling capacitor sound to it as well, but then it is a bass amp. Well, it seems okay on the current limiter. Strange about how those fuses were blown inside, because it doesn't look to have had any new. I mean, it may have had a rectifier too, maybe. Let's get a bigger bulb. Right, let's put in a 60 and that'll give us 100 watts of current limiting. That's now put us into the 300 volt range on the plate voltage. That is getting a bit louder. Nice clean tone. Just the tone control doesn't work. Still not very loud though. Right, let's go up on the current limiter again. Ouch, it's a bit warm. Try that. That's a 100 watt bulb we've put in there, so we've got 160 watts of current limiting. You can see the plate voltage is going up now. We've got 390 volts on the plate. I'm not going to turn this off the current limiter because the fuse situation isn't great, is it? That is flat out, so that's telling me that something's not quite right there, is it? Right, remove the 60, let's put another 100 in there, so we've got 200 watts now. And that's took the plate voltage now over 400. So we've got a bit of an overtone on there. octave lower. So that's sent to have powered up okay then. There don't seem to be any problems other than it's got no output, it's got no power. I mean 403 volts, you know, on a 30 watt amp, 403 plate volts, that would be blowing the windows out flat out. And I can still just about talk over that. So there's a problem there with low output, which suggests having this amount of plate voltage suggests that's probably on the preamp stage. I mean, I know I've still got the current limiter on, but there can't be much more on there. You know, with 200 watts of bulbs, might be another 30-40 volts maybe, but that wouldn't be causing that much loss of power, would it? Let's just turn the volumes down. Little bit of background hum. So maybe that cap is a little, that big hand capacitor is a little tired. It's not excessive, but there is a slight problem. Bit of an overtone on that note there. Only that one note, strangely enough. And the tone control doesn't work. And there's probably some other tired caps in there, hence it's got a bit of a muddy tone. It's not particularly bright. It's clean enough though. Well, it runs okay, so I think we'll turn off now. Right, we'll get in touch with the customer and see what he wants to do with this one. Just looking, you know, how we get to that, how we get to the circuits, well, all the components there. You see it's point to point. Tubes are hot, so I think that's on the preamp stage, that lack of power. So we'll get with the customer and just see what he wants to be doing with this amp really.